Mhm. Hey, good morning, Frank. Mhm. There's no diarrhea, but 19. This is the area that you want to see them hold. This 15 area. The value area low from yesterday's profile. Hey, that was a good movie, by the way. Yeah, I'd never seen it. Me? Oh. Alright, so we proven below that value area low right here. Let's see if they can hold. Virgin. Some weakness. I mean, you have internals kind of not really too happy. Green. You want to see internal. Some of them are holding green right now. So you want to see kind of the market generally hold here, this area, for some strength. The hold of yesterday's P profile developed. Up a little bit. Oh, all right. The big inflection area where I'm at right now. This area right here, big inflection, big area where we're going to see if we continue yesterday's rally or we fail yesterday's rally. This is at the bottom end of value area low. You can see on the right it says The Valerie low 47415, which is also where we broke out of yesterday in the area. This is where we broke out of yesterday. We're kind of there at the same spot. Look. Flip is. Oh, we're above the flip. Above the Okay. Long flip and Billy. Waiting for open. Open was below VWAP. Right. Okay. Good morning, Mr. James. Welcome back, sir. Going in Texas. Gone. Open B zone. Did I put the right? Oh no. Hey, good morning. The only name available and Mr. Pete. Welcome back, guys. We're teetering between like a breakdown slash continuation. Of course, we're trading right in the middle of the whole profile. So it's going to be very messy or choppy, right? Looks like a breakdown so far. Chips are kind of teetering between green and red, so it's with the max 7 are already red. Not as a collective, but majority. The heavier weighting ones. Could be a decent breakdown. Let's see if we do go for a breakdown trade. What's a good setup here? Not really a fan of trying to short this at the low, to be honest, but it could be a breakdown. Well, it looks like they want to sustain this move back up. They're bouncing it. I want to make sure that internals are supporting that move. I'm waiting a little bit, see if chips and the mag 7 go green. Chips are currently are above my head somewhere up there. Or we'll see if they can reclaim here. I want to see a hold. That's 7424. Ideally, I'm looking for it to sweep the overnight low first. Let's take out the overnight low and then reclaim. All the internals are red again. Defending that Valor low. I just don't trust the move right away off the open to go be bidding it. I want to see him take out the overnight low, fail the trade lower, and then reclaim the Valor low again. So let us see if it trades overnight low here. It's getting active here to the upside. So. All internals right now. Okay. But Matt, chips went red again. Yeah, this might break down. I like the short setup only because of the on the immediate term. I'll try the momentum because the chips are teetering between green and red. The only thing I do not like is the fact that we are. I'm gonna have to scale this quickly too because I'm not a one to short the whole. To short right into the low of a session, but the fact that the internals are currently red and also the 2 of the 3 sectors are red, you might just touch overnight low and then from there I'll kind of gather what can happen. If they take out the overnight low and then reclaim the 415, the internals go positive or start to get mixed, then I'll flatten out and go long. I'll follow the momentum for now on this rejection here, going into the value low for the week or from yesterday's session. Right there, value low. Right here. The internals are all red. You can see them up here. Mixed or red. Yeah, pretty much red except for one sector. So I'll follow that momentum for now and see if they can reclaim and flip it around. Keeping a close eye. The overnight low is always a target. Statistically, it hits 90% of the time. One overnight level tags on any given session. Either overnight low or overnight high tag. I'm just keeping a close eye on them, that they remain in that downside bid, because I don't want to see them flip at any point. Looks like the value names are getting a bid here. They're the ones remaining strong here throughout this dip. Well, the chips and Max 7 kind of remain red for now. Again, as long as these two, I think it's on the left here, as long as these remain red, I don't want to see them go even deeper into the red. I'm willing to hold the short. If they start to flip positive, then I flatten out. And then, personally, I'm more long biased here. This is the inflection area for bulls to hold to continue higher into the overnight high and into Friday or Thursday highs. Oh, getting some sort of headline for sure. Another fucking headline. Can't short in this market with these headlines that just come out of nowhere. I'm sure it's related to the Iran shit. Look at this. Yeah, that was an Iran headline for sure. Has to be. We'll see if that's a real fucking pop or not, because this could just be a sweep on Nothing or continuation. I'm still watching the sectors right now. Journals are still red. Momentum's pretty strong on the push. I'm waiting to see if those sectors flip or not. They're still not flipping. We're right at VWAP. I'm honestly going to try it again. This could be a huge mistake, but they're probably just momentum coming. Okay. Right. We'll leave it at that. See if this momentum is real. If it does, it should continue momentum above VWAP. If not, it'll reject VWAP here and then fade lower. So the internals, again, the chips are trying to flip green here. If they do, then, you know, I'll probably get stopped out before I can even make a decision about moving or changing the stop loss. But they're still red as of right now, even with that little pop. Chips about to go green here. They're kind of flipping positive, or not positive, but they're down 1%. Now they're going positive. See what I mean? If I'm wrong, there, well, they flip positive right there. You can see they just went green. I'll likely get stopped on this trade again. And I will have to wait for a pullback into VWAP to get long and follow this up. So you can see that the chips went green here. Middle one, I think, is, I don't know if I'm highlighting the right area, but of the three, now only one is red, which is the Mag 7. So something must have come around and started to flip momentum. There's my stop again. I'm just wrong. Shorting is just not going to work out today. Just like yesterday. 2 shorts yesterday did not work, and I'm in the same boat today. So wrong arrow twice. Let this fade out and see if it holds the 7424 on the dip. Yeah, it's holding. Alright, well, I'll give it some time and see if it holds the 24s. It's kind of this area here. IB forms in 30 minutes, so give it time to see if this up is going to sustain. Right here at VWAP, kind of a little bit below, holding the IB. If this doesn't take out the overnight low, they're likely going to push this up into the overnight high. Iran, there's a headline that moved us. Iran official denies report that Iran Supreme Leader forbid uranium removal. That's the reason for this pop. Iranian officials denies reports that Iran Supreme Leader forbid removal of uranium. Back and forth on this. So whippy. I think yesterday we popped on a similar headline about being close to a deal. Dips went red again. Back red, so yeah, just following the momentum. Value remains bid. Yeah, I want to be long here, but then the chips are also red. Journals are also red. I'll have to just wait this out. As long as the value are low, they probably have a good bid. I think we dropped from 7,450s on that headline this morning. From the on that Iran headline, I think we dropped pre-market from here down to 420s. So if the headline is reversed, we should be trading 450s. We'll see if we end up pushing into that area. I think that's the reason we had to sold off right here abruptly. The Iran headline about uranium came down to this area, then they reversed the headline right here on this push. So then, I mean, theoretically, we should be back here, I would assume. Before that headline kind of moved the market. is the oh, here it is. Pulling back a little bit. See if they hold 24s here on the pullback, which is near the VWAP or just a little bit above it. Those remains red. I just don't know if that's going to mean anything today. So I'm just kind of keep my head on the swivel here as we pull back. Back in yesterday's value area. Or the high volume note, the point of control, which is here at 7440. Pretty holding pretty good. Wants to probably continue higher. I'm just gonna wait. Tape is very much paused here, like it's digesting or something's gonna hit the wire. They're just kind of similar to yesterday when we were trading at the 415s. Just consolidating right before, or not 415, it's pretty much similar areas yesterday right here. A little higher, but we're just consolidating. Just went back red. Let's see. We'll try it again here. That'll be the last try on this one. The IB is going to be sent 15 minutes, so we'll use the IB high currently as it stands for the target. As the stop loss area. And then, yeah, right here too. Add this shortcut. Need to add it to this. This is more volatility again. I don't know what this is going to result in, but I'll take the loss on this one and call it a day. It does stop me out. Just another volatile move. I don't know if it's a follow-up headline or what. Seems to be very common for today's session. We're targeting the overnight low on this. First target, first quality target, and then after that, the extension down into yesterday's value area low. Or value area high, sorry. See what it breaks down here. So that short entry was pretty optimal this time around. We'll see if it holds or not. Chips went red again. We're targeting again the overnight low on part of it, and then the other part, other high from yesterday, 92. Not yesterday, sorry, from 2 sessions ago. Yesterday's value high is up here at the 53s. We'll see. $24s was an area I was watching for a long bid, so if this is going to bounce, it's going to be here for a continuation move, or it's going to fade out. We'll see. My general lean remains relatively short only because the internals are all red, but that could be a false signal for the day for me. I could be looking at the wrong thing, you know? They just bounced it off 24s again. Chips went further into the red. Not sure what headline or what moved this lower. The chips remain red so far. Mag 7 as well, and then the value names are what's holding pretty much the bid here. Waiting. I like that it's holding below view up on the bounces so far. That's a good sign of a trap on an initial push. It's now down 1. So worse than it was earlier before this little pop. Not sure if they're getting hit directly or if it's a few names. When I say chips, it's only a few names that I track on there. It's a total of six of them. The ones weighted with the highest market cap. So I could have just been early on the damn short. This happens often. We'll see. Comes the velocity into the lows. You want to see them hold below, even on bounces. So then, as we trade here into the lows, into the session lows, the 7 where point of control is there at 418 through 7415. I want to see value hold below that, meaning like volume transact underneath it, because it's the neckline. So as long as they keep bouncing here, they still have the ability to bounce this higher. So I want to see value distribute and hold below this neckline, right? So if it doesn't, it just has more bounce potential, and this could be a trap on the dips. We'll see if that ends up being in play or not. So that's why I'm targeting the overnight low, because they could flush into the overnight low and then simply just reverse the whole thing again. So just be mindful that my target is overnight low, but I will have to kind of watch if it springboards back above that value area that I mentioned on the profiles up there. It takes out this and then it just like holds here, then it's probably just a trap on this dip into the overnight low. We shall see. Again, keeping an eye on the internals here. It's the reason I was net short this morning. I was early on the trade, it seems. Taking it, shorting the hole again. I'm not a fan of that. Maybe I should have just sized it down. and taking its smaller size as opposed to the size I was trying it. Well, shorting the hole, meaning the lows of the open. They're holding 415 again there. Consider scaling here if they continue to do that. This reminds me of yesterday. If you guys were here yesterday, right at the 415 was where I should have scaled, and they were telling me to scale out yesterday on the short, and I did not, right? And I had like 2 tries at it. They gave me 2 attempts to get out around there, and I might have to do that here. I'm gonna be a little patient only because we're below the first standard deviation, this blue line. So I do have momentum in my side currently, but I'll be nimble and have to chase it higher. I will take some off the table. They don't want to get caught in a short squeeze or a trap. Yeah, they're bouncing it again. It's the same level as yesterday. Discussing Hormuz stall. Volume's tapering off as we trade lower. Not a fan of that either. See if we can get a continuation lower. This is just, again, a trap. I'm hovering over the DOM right now because I'm considering scaling out here. Position. I'll just place it here. I don't like the stalling here. Should have taken out the overnight low already. Scale here at a little bit above 17. I missed me by a tick. See if I can scale some here at 17. I keep fucking dancing around here. Point of control. I scaled more than half of the position there. I'll scale the other 2 if it does a full breakdown. I'm still right about 180. So we'll see what happens. And I don't like the way they're stalling here because this is the value area low. This is the neckline. This is a big area that he needs to hold. 4 bulls to continue momentum. I think scaling was a good call there so far because they keep trying to bounce this thing right at the value. That same level from yesterday. It's a massive level. I never would have thought that this area would be so massive once they hold it. For some reason, this one doesn't shortcuts. Hey, you do your hair pretty. Son's going to school, so I had to say bye. So, I was just early on the short, kind of something to review here for myself again, similar to yesterday. They're holding, let's see what the internals are doing here. All right, still red. This level is very trappy, that 415. Very fucking trappy. Okay, so feel good about having scaled there now, given that it's continuing to bounce. Now the question for me is, if we do revisit VWAP, will there be any weakness? And if so, will the internals still reflect the same weakness? Then I might add to the short if that happens. We'll consider that. The IB is going to be set in 2 minutes. So I'll consider that as part of my thought process if we bounce here back into 30s. You know, does it make sense to add to the short? And then if so, like how am I going to balance that? Like, are the internals still red? Are chips and Mag 7 still weak? If so, how weak are they relative to where before the drop? And then from there, I'll consider adding more to the short. Because at that point, we can target the IB, and the overnight low should break after that. But we'll see. I'll be right back. Squeeze here to pop back into it. Chips, Mag still red. Be here. We're back into, like I said, we're bouncing back into the VWAP area. Chips are still relatively red. Question here is, like, is it valuable enough for me to want to add to the short based on what's happening? I don't see it right now. Chips are lower than they were earlier. Mag 7 recovered a little bit, so I don't like that. Let's see. I'll add a few lots here. I'll keep the same trade intact. Not the bracket I want, though. Separate the brackets. There you go. Okay. I added more positioning here. We'll see if that ends up being working in my favor for continuation lower to break the overnight low, IB low, and then we'll target more at the value high from yesterday. Personally, I am bearish, neutral, unless we cross 52. I like that reference though, not bad. Yeah, continuation. I think neutral's a good spot, given the overall strength of that 415, definitely. Thanks for sharing. We'll see if the ad it works out. Again, we're targeting IB low / overnight low for the continuation if this ends up breaking down. Well, what I have noticed between yesterday and today, the positive Iran headlines are not really creating new highs like they were before. So we were getting some anticipated good news from the Iran war conflict, and the news would produce new highs for all of April pretty much and into May. As of late, since the China summit, and now the latest Iran headline updates, like the one from yesterday and the one from today, they're not producing new highs, or they're also prices not coming back to where it was before those headlines were given. So like I said this morning, the Iran headline that said about uranium that dropped us was here. Then they came out and said that's not true, and then we did not come back up to that uranium headline before it came out. So they reversed the news, the headline, but it did not produce the move back into this area. So that, and then the China summit as well, we had a sell-off during that night after he left. I think Thursday going into Friday, we had that large gap down. So we might be reaching a point in the market where those positive headlines are not going to produce those short squeezes we were getting for new highs like we did all of April and May. Might be reaching some headline exhaustion there. Is my assumption based on the last week of price action. But we'll see. We will see. This is the early innings of that because we've only had a few headlines between the gap down from last week going into Friday and today, which is what, 5 days? Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 days. So that scale at 418, 417. 417 was a good call on my end. I'm glad I did that. We'll see if that add to the short was a good call or not. So we have a heat map here, week over week. Yesterday, this was higher. This was 6% or 7% week over week. Week over week, we're not getting much momentum. You can see the broader market as a whole. We have more red sectors than green week over week, which makes sense. Month over month, still pretty strong moves. Still holding. This is from April to May. Only a few are red, and even the ones that are, they're not deeply red, only nuclear. Year to day, of course, different story. You're probably going to see less red. Yeah, software clouds down. But you have semiconductors that have led pretty strong. So I reference this kind of every so often, a few days a week, just kind of looking at the overall breadth, like what is driving the market move this week. And so far this week, it's been a little more red. Nothing substantial besides these last four sectors, which are not really big sections of the S&P, right? They're not really heavily weighted. Put on this one right here. Yeah. I can short another account too. Same spot. Adjust the orders, but this is messy. 3. I can barely see the writing. I gotta change these color boxes. I can barely see what this is saying. Still holding below view up, not by much. View up's kind of flat. So the ad seems to have worked out right there. Just took a little time to resolve. We'll see if they bounce it again off this 415 again. This level's been this pesky ass little thing, that 415 area. That support is a strong level. If it cracks, my assumption is we make a quick move down into the value area high or value area low from the value area high from Tuesday, which is 392. From there we kind of can see what comes next. Feather bounce. Huh? How much? Okay. Okay. No, that's more. Yeah, it's more, but yeah, that's fine. No. Okay. Fabulous. Okay. Keep going. Huh. Oh yeah. Throws it off, huh? Okay. Instead of taking the two? When did you decide that? When did you decide that? Okay. Huh? Oh, in the car? Value keeps holding above that neckline. As long as the value holds above, I'm kind of not in the right side. I'm thankfully in a good entry, scaled out, but keep defending the area. A brick wall. It does look like one. Can you do it? Huh? Yeah, I agree. Do a little tutorial video. Right? Both ways. Here's the volume being shelf again. They're holding value here, right above that neckline where I said like you want to see them hold it above. They still are doing it. So in terms of value and trend, it's holding what it needs to continue to go higher. So in that respect, it's not gonna. It doesn't look like a valid short setup. The only good thing going for me is the location of my end. I need to see it flush through 415 and then hold below that neckline. It's like 410 area. Pretty much the overnight low. Hold below overnight low. Once again. If this one tags or not, we'll see. Hitting 415 again. This has been the bounce area, so just gonna kind of hover here, the dom, and take profit if it bounces again. Kind of size it down again because they did re-short right at the VWAP again. Yeah, see, they're going again. Fucking assholes. All right, took some at 417 again. I scaled again the same basis that I did earlier, just because again I'm tired of this fucking bouncing here. I'm running out of patience, to be honest, on this bullshit. It's like you're either gonna break down now, because it should. The internals have been slowly going lower and lower. The value names that were holding pretty well throughout the morning, they're now not red. They're only up 0.28, but they were up 0.6. So half of the move has been given up so far on this leg. So a little weaker than we were earlier, but still, like, my patience is unfortunately wearing thin on holding the position, at least in full size, because of the amount of bouncing and how strong the bull case has been in this area. I don't want the risk of it coming back against me again, you know? It's just fucking frustrating on that regard. Take it at 18 again. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Can't make this shit up. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. Going back to where I was on the stop on the take profit here. I think they're waiting for that next hour to start before they mix the next leg, to be honest. We have about 6 minutes for the next hour. That's probably what they're waiting for the new hour print. This is just chopping around massively. The next hour, they'll probably either hold, squeeze above that VWAP, which is where I'm at, positioned, or they are going to break down, I would assume, in the next hour, top of the hour. Nice too. What t-shirt were you saying? T-shirt were you asking about? Both look nice. I don't know. We have 3 votes. No, and then yes. 1 yes. Okay. Are the internals now? They're still around the same. Nothing's really changed. Dips are kind of around where they were. Max 7's around a little higher than it was, and then value names kind of gone up and down quite a little bit, not much. So, they're reclaiming VWAP right into the top of the hour. They might just want to rally this again. So far, bulls held value where they needed to. Internals remained red anyway. So, must be good hold. They have internal weakness and they're still able to defend that value area. Here's the next hour about to start here in a minute. Let's see what's real or not. We added to the trade. We shorted, scaled out 17s, added more, scaled out again 17s. So a good decision on that end. I learned from yesterday's little mistake when I had the opportunity to scale yesterday on the little dips. But the question is this the right way, the right trade? Yesterday I was short around here, and they gave me 2 chances yesterday to scale right here. I didn't take either of them. So today I definitely learned from that one. Scale twice. Here's the new hour. Yeah. That was nice too. A bit of a rejection there on the tape right out of VWAP. It's kind of expected to see a reaction move right out of VWAP, so not going to make much of it, since that's where a lot of volume transacts. Could be something, could be nothing. We'll see. Hello? Oh, hey. What time do you work today? Oh, okay. Yeah, look, this one.
This looks.
Yeah, only because you got a nice body. So it looks nice on that. The other one kind of hides it. Not much, but it's, you know. ¿Qué más? Man. Huh? Oh, you made some? Yeah, I'll put it away. Oh, okay. Thank you. Is that what was going on this morning? Why Ezra was like, "Mommy?" Okay. In the trunk? Oh, from that night you went out. Oh. Love you too. We're back lower again. See if again we've come here before, so I'm not really convinced of a breakdown until we actually break the structure, because we've made this round trip a few times already. And if I've realized anything, is that a headline can come in and change this completely. I had that experience this morning, right here, right when they stopped me out, right there, stopped out right there. So I have no expectations here. Fucking headline come in and just take me out, or just reverse the whole trend, just say. And the same thing happened yesterday here. We had a headline right here, right at this area. So not convinced until we actually break structure. Yes, again, I keep referencing the same area all day. This structure right there, that value area. I'm breaking down right here. I will target the overnight low on this. We'll have 2 lots, so I'll still have about a little under half the position. I had a total of 5 lots. I scaled 3 the first dip right here at 415 or 417, sorry. I added 3 more lots. I scaled 2 at 417 again, and then I'm going to scale 1 more at the overnight low. Or IB low. We'll see. I mean, if we get a break of the IB low and there's not much volume behind the break, I might just scale it early, because we could be forming a failed breakdown of the IB low as well. Yeah, not very promising overall, things like this. I'll be right back.
We probed. Wow. Probed underneath the IB by 1 tick. Or 2 ticks. Sorry, I had to run somewhere. So what should we name the stream today? Market testing my patience? We're going green on the day here. So green to red. Sorry, I'm out of breath, man. I'll scale here. A few points away, I don't mind. I have 2 lots still, so about 30% of the original position. We were red on the day, now we're green. So the short setup was valid. Maybe I just needed more patience to allow the breakdown to happen. More, not really the breakdown yet, but just the short setup. So this is what's happening right now is exactly what I was what I'm kind of keeping an eye out for, right? Where you see the tape is accelerating, volume probing the IBL is not resulting in any So this is exactly what I was saying earlier, is that I want to be kind of lower, smaller position size going into this area because there could be a failed breakdown here, which seems like that's what they're attempting to accomplish or do. And I'm gonna wait it out and see if it is, because I'll go flat if that's the case. I want to be kind of relatively small size just so I have enough. I don't have too much skin in the game where I feel compelled, where I have too much exposure where I'm kind of committed to the trade. I want just small enough size where I'm kind of open-minded to what's happening in front of me. Because sometimes my position sizing will kind of tamper with my overall ability to see the structure clearly. If I'm sized smaller, I have less skin in the game, and I'm kind of more open to the idea of a reversal if it comes. But again, that's just me. That's how I see things. So, someone might be able to hold the full position on a breakdown or not. I personally need to be sized down and have a clearer image of what's happening. So far, internals are still red. Value name went down a little bit, didn't go full red overnight. The Dow and the NQ are still above the overnight lows. So not much bear structure yet. See if they end up breaking down or not. This could be like Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? I think we had a failed breakdown of the IBL. It seems like that's maybe happening here. We'll see. Yeah, see, they're coming back with force here. Because I kind of missed it. I had to step. I missed the move, but it looks like they tapered into the IBL, very low volume, and then they're doing the full reversal again, kind of similar to Tuesday. So we'll see. I'm gonna flatten this one out probably. Activity's picking up pretty strong here. We'll see. See, tape's accelerating. They're trying to break value high. So they went from one extreme to the next. They went from the value low to the value high rather quickly for the current session. And they're pushing, trying to break above it into the 30s. VWAP's my general lean for now. As long as they hold below VWAP, I'll kind of hold this last 2 runner or position. But if they start to hold above it and value area high, then I'll just kind of step aside. Max 7's getting a bid. That one was down about 1%. Now it's up down 0.6. We'll see if that continues. Values remain kind of flat. It is where it's been. Nothing's really changed with value names. Yeah, I'll re-enter this one. No. Not flat. Fuck you. Short, dude. On this account, I'll re-enter, but I'll probably close it quickly. They'll probably squeeze me. Yeah, they're gonna squeeze me. My stop's at 30 on this one, pretty tight, and they're coming right into it. They're riding the value high, still pushing. They're trying to break out. We'll see if this effort ends up resulting in a breakout or not. But yeah, I think I missed that optimal entry of the IBL failed breakdown. That was the entry for today, potentially here. We'll see, because they didn't even take out the overnight low. Overnight low stayed protected. Okay. And then on this one, I probably am gonna add here as well, and 3 more lots, get it back to 5. And the reason is because I can kind of keep a tight stop now. Because if they break above VWAP, they're gonna squeeze me out fast. Like right now, if this holds here and squeezes, like if it pops above this, it's gonna stop me out quick, and that's okay with me. Because the risk relative to the reward, the R ratio, is pretty good. Because if they fail here at VWAP, I know they're going to take out the overnight low. I don't know, but I assume they will. Seems like a high probability target if they fail here at VWAP. But if they stop me out, it's going to be a relatively tight stop compared to the reward. So I added 3 more lots again. I don't know if I just need to restart my computer at this point, but the taskbar keeps coming up. Fucking annoying. says I have 3 lots here. Should be 5. Where's the other 2? Where? Yeah, they're holding volume up here too. They're building up more volume at the high end of the range. Similar to yesterday's hold at the 15s. The volume they're developing is very similar to this here right now, this area. So it looks like it wants to break out, man. They're gonna stop me out on this. We'll hold to it, but it seems like a continuation here. We'll see. Here comes the breakout. They're pushing into the valley or high. Right at 28. See if they break out or not. Breaching here into the high. Delta's flipping positive. There's a seller right there, but I don't think he holds. 1,000 lots just traded right there at 30. Yeah, they're breaking out. See if they hold this. If they hold this, it's going to squeeze hard right now. I would assume it squeezes right over into the 40s. So if it holds above 30s, I would say it probably beelines it right to the 40s. We'll see if it holds or not. This is going to be probably my only trade for the final trade for the day. Either this plays out down or I get stopped out and I'm just wrap it up. This is playing out a lot like this day, where we had the failed breakdown. I think it was Tuesday. We had a failed breakdown of the IBL, and all we did was chop around until eventually the supply that was holding us down just kind of faded out. Who knows if this ends up being the same scenario, but and then we just kind of broke out the rest of the day. Right? Failed breakdown of the IB, selling subsides, and then we just kind of go higher. Who knows? That could be the playbook for today. I'm on the opposite side of it today. Chips are kind of teetering between trying to go higher or lower. I'm sorry, chips. Mag 7. And then values just kind of stayed green all day. There's an underlying rotation today, out of chips and Mag 7 into value names. What do you guys think? You guys think, I don't even know how many people are on here. Anybody even watching? Oh, there is. Okay. Here's the question. Does Rick get paid or nah? See what you guys think. No? Okay. Got a vote? It says nar or no. Someone said yes. Okay. Cool. This is, if there were a pinning action, it's this pinning, bro. It just stuck at V1, bro. What is this? It's just trading sideways, like like a what, like a 3-point range, 4-point range. What is this? 28. Let's just say 20, 24, 4-point range. Interesting. I'm never a fan of this kind of tight consolidation because when they form a range like this, especially this narrow, they'll sweep both sides at some point and still not move it. What they'll do is this, some bullshit like this. They'll fucking boom, boom. Not that big of a range, of course, but like sweep up, sweep down, and then just fucking stall again. Kind of clear the book of stop losses, and then they'll just like consolidate it again. Which, if that happens, I likely get stopped out on this. If they just clear the book. My stop's pretty tight. Got another vote. Says no. No, Rick won't get paid. Got 2 bulls. All right. Well, I have something for you guys if it works out. Tight range, super, super tight range, dude. Super. I don't know if someone's talking or there's some sort of news being in development. Because it's just super narrow. It's very narrow range. It's not normal. It's like this one over here from yesterday. Right here. Newsprint, like we just... And then we just individually pushed up. Place to go. Value is drifting a little lower. It was up 0.3, now only 0.15, 0.17. Max 7 remains kind of flat from where it's been. It's still red, but it was 0.5, now 0.7. It's kind of drifting a little lower. See if value goes red. It's been the only sector that's been green consistently throughout today's session. So if it flips red, we have internals red, then I would assume we can finally break the value area low of the session. It's just an assumption. We'll see. Well, the market's a lot about it's a lot about if so, if this then that, if this then that, you know. So just speaking in terms of probabilities. If so, if this then that, if blah blah blah, so on and so forth. And the reason I reference a lot of the internals like chips, Max 7, you know, the value names, is because the S&P moves based on the underlying, right? Volume is one component, but the S&P ultimately tracks an underlying of 500 stocks. Of those 500, there's a few that are heavily weighted that have more push and pull. And those are the ones that I track for the underlying. So that's why I reference the sectors a lot and the internals. That's like the backdrop. That's the engine, right? The engine underneath the S&P. Yesterday I was completely wrong. All the internals were green and I shorted. You know, I even said in the morning like they're all green and I shorted and I was wrong. If this breaks down the value area, I would only caution on buying dips to wait until the next 4-hour candle prints. Unless you're scalping, different story. But typically what happens is if we break down around this time, like Euro close, we sell off until the next 4-hour candle prints, which is my time, Pacific. It's at 10 a.m. So about an hour and a half from now, from what I've noticed. We started off the session on the wrong side, right? Getting stopped out a couple times. I think I pushed the pedal too much initially. Second part of the session, I guess after the first hour. Pretty decent positioning scales on my end. You can see where I've scaled on my short setups that I've taken it. So here, at short, scaled, short, scaled. So pretty decent management so far. We have yet to break down, by the way. I'm not out of the woods yet. So I've pretty much been able to manage the trade pretty well within the current range overall, I will say. I've been more malleable with the scales compared to yesterday's short setup that I had here. You have this hold. They hit 415 again perfectly, and they bounced. Excuse me. Fucking range, bro. I can't. Right back to the same chop zone again. Where's everything out? See chips, max 7. Everything's back where it was before we broke down. So we'll see. Chips, max 7 is back at 0.5. Value is coming back to 0.3 where it was earlier before we broke down. So we'll see what happens here. Another failed breakdown potentially of the value low. Mag's a little bit green, more green than it was before. I'm not, like, I can't even say green. Higher than it was before. It's 0.46 instead of 0.5. The Mag 7's getting a bid here. That NQ is getting pretty good. It's holding above VWAP now. It was kind of teetering. It's going above VWAP now. It looks like it's getting a bid. NQ has yet to, it did not take out the overnight low, so it held overnight low on all the dips this morning, and it's currently curling to go higher. We might run up here. We'll see. It looks like they're rotating out of value and into Mag 7 / chips. We'll see if that's enough to get them going. Because the NQ chart looks a little cleaner now to the upside. We'll see. We will see. We come and push. Max, it's kind of a little higher. Chips, I got a little bit of a bid too. 0.2 up. We're still kind of teetering around the same spot. We'll see. This whole rain. This is disgusting fucking chop. I will say, this is disgusting. This is testing a lot of people. I hope that, you know, not getting chopped up in the range. I guess maybe some people got chopped up. I don't know. These kind of ranges chop up a lot of traders. Holding into VWAP now, piercing into it, holding over. Back in, here's the value high. No! Here's my stop. They're coming. Where is it? Yeah, Mag's getting a bid. Mag 7. See if we can get it to 34. Same spot as the other one. Yeah. Tick, can I move one more fucking tick? Come on. I change it. I hate fucking managing area. So it looks like it's gonna break because they got Mag 7 now a little higher. Not much. Like, here's the thing. I was like hoping to see a bigger push out of this area with the internals pushing more than they are. I'm not seeing it yet. Could do it all at once though. They might push everything all at once and then rip it 10 points. Because again, 440s are like beeline of 440s if it fucking breaks here. Values back to 0.3 on the day, back where it was earlier. Max 7's a little higher, not much. It's just still chopping. No sector has gone higher or lower than where they've been all session, but overall the NQ looks different on the chart. It looks different than it did earlier from the open. And with the NQ not breaking lower, we might just unfortunately trend higher as a default. We held the value area low, we held this area here. Again, all session long, we fucking defended this piece of shit. So it just wants to go higher. Trend continues to be intact. That midpoint held. Here they come. Holding over VWAP here. Yeah, they're likely gonna squeeze me out here. They're holding out VWAP and they're just melting up here. There should be a squeeze here, like a slow. They're grinding up, but it should result in a nice pop soon. They usually do this, like they'll grind up past an area and then they'll just come like that. Especially after a large consolidation. So kind of grind, and then out of nowhere the move just comes all at once. There's my stop. Oh, I didn't take the full stop. That's right. I only had 3 lots there. You close it up. There you go. All right, that's it. Stopped out. Was wrong. They held the value. See if it continues to break out or not. It's got to hold above VWAP, value area high, this 28 area to continue higher. But that's it for me. I got stopped out. Tried the break, didn't work. Still ending the session red. So that'll be it for me. I'll see you guys if you guys want to tune in tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow.